Hello families and welcome to FamJam. I don't know about you guys, but I am looking forward to wrapping this school year up this week. I'm looking forward to beach parties, some friend gatherings, and lots of ice cream. But you know what I'm looking forward to even more than all of that? Is seeing your gorgeous faces again sometime soon. So why don't you take a minute and grab one of those cool sunglasses filters, post a picture of your family up to #SSCNextGen so I can see your gorgeous faces engaging with us this morning. Now, can you believe that it's June already? We're really excited to be able to launch this month's Life app together, and Ella's gonna do that just in a minute. But before that, let's give a great big shout out to some of you, my friends, who have helped me with this month's memory verse.
Faith. 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 Faith is being sure. Faith is being sure of what we hope for.
Faith is being sure of what we hope for.
Faith is being sure of what we hope for. Of what we hope for.
Of what we hope for.
It is being sure. It is being sure of what we do not see.
It is being sure of what we cannot see. It is being sure of what we do not see.
It is being sure what we do.
Of what do we do not see. It is being sure of what we do not see. Hebrews 11:1. Hebrews 11:1.
Hebrews 11:1.
Hebrews 11:1.
Hebrews 11:1.
Hebrews 11:1.
Hebrews 11:1. Hebrews 11:1.
Let's say it all together one more time. Faith, being sure of what you hope for, but is being sure of what you do not see. Hebrews 11:1.
Hey guys. Wow, you're all so ginormous. I love binoculars. They help you take a closer look at what's actually far away. For example, if I were to see a tiny little speck on the mountainside, I could take these and see that tiny little speck is actually a grizzly bear. Pretty cool, right? There are so many different things to help us look at something better. Binoculars, microscopes, and even telescopes that help us look at the night sky. All of these things help us to focus. They help us to take a closer look. This month, we're going to be focusing on something really important, but it's actually something we can't see. I'm talking about faith. Faith is trusting in what you can't see because of what you can. But how can we do that? How can we trust in what we can't see? Well, it's actually a lot simpler than it sounds. And my friend Aaliyah is going to help us take a closer look.
Thanks, Ella. First, grab everyone you can to face off in this exciting challenge. Here's how we play. First, you will put a blurry image on your screen. Second, shout out what you think the right answer is. Would you use a microscope, a telescope, or just your plain old eyes to see that image? Third, keep track of all your right answers on your hand. And make sure to post a picture to #SSCNextGen for a chance to win. First up, image 1. What would you use in order to see this blurry blob of fuzziness? Now that you've made your selections, let's see what this object really is. Wow, that's an amoeba, which you most certainly would need a microscope to see. Who got a point? Image 2. What do you use in order to see this blurry image? Wow, it's a planet. That'd be a telescope? Who got that one right? Image 3. What would you use in order to see this blurry image? Blood platelets? What? That'd be a microscope for sure. Image 4. How about this one? You guessed it. That's a pancake. I think that needs your plain old eyes and a fork. Okay, last image. Image 5. What do you need in order to see this blurry image? It's a plate. Who guessed that? I think your plain old eyes would work for that one too. Great job, you guys! Did anybody get all 5 answers right? Make sure to post a picture to #SSCNextGen for a chance to win. Gather around, friends, and it's time for us to get up and worship God with some of our favorite new and old songs.
This is my faith, this is my focus, all of my days. I know where my hope is, I live it loud, I shout the chorus, because I know, oh, you're always for us. And even when it's hard for me to see, I will trust in you, I will believe. And even when it's hard for me to see, I will trust in you, I will believe. And keep on looking to you for where I'm going, knowing you go there too. I'll keep on looking to you. I fix my eyes on you. You are my only focus. You are my only focus. You are my only focus. I fix my eyes on you, on you, on you. This is my faith, this is my focus, all of my days. I know where my hope is, I'll live it loud, I shout the chorus, because I know, oh, you're always for us. And even when it's hard for me to see, I will trust in you, I will believe. And even when it's hard for me to see, I will trust in you, I will believe. And keep on looking to you for where I'm going, knowing you go there too. I'll keep on looking to you. I'll fix my eyes on you. You are my only focus. You are my only focus. You are my only focus. I fix my eyes on you, oh yeah, oh yeah. Woo! You ready? Come on, let's go. Hands in the air, hands in the air. I know you're there, I know you're there. Anywhere, oh. Anywhere. I fix my eyes on you, on you. Hands in the air, hands in the air. I know you're there, I know you're there. Anywhere, oh. I fix my eyes on you, on you. And keep on looking to you for where I'm going, knowing you go there too. I'll keep on looking to you. I'll fix my eyes on you. You are my only, you are my only focus. You is you are my only focus. I fix my eyes on you, on you, on you.
You hold the world in your hands. You put the stars in the place. You help me understand, and you guide me for all my days. And everything I do, I will keep my eyes on you. And everywhere I go, I want the world to know I trust in you.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Hebrews, chapters 11 and 12.
Gotta have a little faith, 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 faith. Keep the faith. Take a leap of faith. You know, a lot of people toss around the word faith lately. We say you can break the faith, or just take it all on blind faith. But true faith isn't blind at all. It's much more than just an inspirational word. True faith has to do with believing in all the things you can't see, because you start with what you can see. Now, we can't see God with our physical eyes, but we can see the stories of people who came before us. They lived in a broken world like we do, but they chose to follow God. They chose to trust His promise that one day He would send a rescuer that would make everything right again. The writer of Hebrews in the New Testament tells us about some of these men and women in God's story. People like Noah. People like Abraham.
Abraham.
When God called Abraham, he was already getting old. He and his wife Sarah didn't have kids.
Leave your country and your people. Leave your father's family. Go to the land I will show you. All nations on earth will be blessed because of you.
God was planning on sending His rescuer as one of Abraham's great, etc. grandchildren. But still, even though Abraham had God's promise, he still couldn't see the one God was sending. Still, Abraham went on a wild adventure, following God's call. And even his descendants, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph, all chose faith in God. Moses, too, was called by God from the fiery heart of a burning bush. Even though he was raised by Pharaoh's daughter, he chose to stand with his own people and face Pharaoh's anger to win freedom. We read about it like this in the book of Hebrews.
Moses suffered shame because of Christ. He thought it of great value.
See, when you check out Hebrews, you discover this huge list of people who followed God by faith. So many that the writer just stops trying to list all of them. Oh, but we can't forget Israel's most important king, David.
Get up and anoint him. This is the one.
Even though God had promised David would be king, though, David spent years on the run from King Saul, fearing for his life. Still, he chose to trust God.
The Lord is my shepherd. He gives me everything I need.
Now, none of these people in the Old Testament could see with their eyes how God was going to save His people, but they could see how He was working in their lives, how their needs were being met. So they chose to believe in His greater plan. They chose faith.
Faith is being sure of what we hope for. It is being sure of what we do not see. That is what the people of long ago were praised for.
Now, here's where the story turns. In Hebrews, we discover that none of those people in the Old Testament received what God had promised here on earth.
That's because God had planned something better for us, so they would only be made perfect together with us.
God's plan includes all of us from the very beginning of creation. So at just the right moment, at the perfect point in time, God sent His rescuer, the hero, His very own Son, Jesus. Jesus showed us how to live. He showed us what God was like, and He told us the most important thing.
If you love one another, everyone will know you are my disciples.
Love God, love others. It's the heart of the whole story. But then, Jesus was killed, and His friends thought the story was finished. Period. Dot. The end. Until God raised Him back to life. Jesus has defeated death, and those who follow Him can live with Him forever. But how do you follow someone you can't see? Well, that brings us back to faith.
Let us keep looking to Jesus. He is the one who started this journey of faith, and He is the one who completes this journey of faith. He paid no attention to the shame of the cross. He suffered there because of the joy he was looking forward to. So think about him. Then you won't lose hope.
The early believers, Peter and John and other followers of Jesus, had seen him teach and heal. They saw him after God raised him to life. But after Jesus returned to heaven, the believers continued to live by faith.
We have to speak about the things we've seen and heard.
Because of what the new Christians in the early church had seen, they could believe in what they could not yet see, the end of the story, where God makes everything right. They kept the faith, and because they did, we can choose faith too.
It's true. You might not be able to see Jesus with your eyes, but you're able to see how he loves and helps people who put their trust in him. Our bottom line for today is you can know Jesus even though you've never seen him. You can know Jesus even though you've never seen him. Let me pray for you. God, we thank you for the examples in the Bible throughout history of people who've learned to put their faith and their trust in you, even in hard and difficult times. We ask, God, that this wouldn't just be a reminder to us, but that you would teach us, God, that we can put our faith and our trust in you in our own hard times, when we're afraid or when we're frustrated. We thank you that this is true. In Jesus' name, amen. So this week, I'd like you to go to our SSC Next Gen Facebook page, because some of our leaders and kids are going to be talking about when and how they put their faith and their trust in Jesus. But for now, it's time. Families, are you ready? It's time to reveal the question. Let me hear you say it. Reveal the question.
Reveal the question.
Awesome. All right. Well, our question for today is this. We've got two, actually. The first one is, what is the craziest thing that you've never seen, but you believe is true? And the second is, what is the biggest change you've seen in someone because of their faith? All right, families, take a few minutes together to discuss these two questions.
God, my family really hasn't made a big deal about church and stuff. But this year, I don't know why exactly, but all those stories, they came together and I figured out you're real. You're who you say you are. When I started serving at Foster Care Support Foundation, I think I was just trying to be nice. But it wasn't. Now it's so much more. It's a way to get to know you better, to serve you better, and to find out more about the people you love, including me. Thanks for making this faith thing easier for me. It's tons easier to believe in what I can't see when I'm doing something I can see. God, you're awesome, amazing. Lots of other words I can't even think of right now. Just thanks. Luke.
It is so amazing to look back at all the people who believed in God and put their faith in Him. People like Abraham, Moses, and David. They trusted in what they couldn't see because they knew that God keeps His promises and that His plan is worth it in the end. Remember, faith is being sure of what you can't see. That is what it says in Hebrews 11:1, which is our memory verse this month. Faith is being sure of what we hope for. It is being sure of what we do not see. Let's say it together. Faith is being sure of what we hope for. It is being sure of what we do not see. We can have faith in Jesus even though we don't see Him. Not only can we read about Him in the Bible and about all that He's done, but we can look to other people and how they have faith in Jesus. When you know how He has worked and impacted other people's lives, you can see how He can do that in your life too. The truth is, there'll be times when it feels like we can't see. There'll be things that we don't understand. There'll be times when we aren't sure how everything will work out. But through all of that, we can trust Jesus and choose to have faith. The bottom line today is you can know Jesus even though you've never seen Him. You might wonder where to start all this. Where do you start to put your faith in Jesus? Well, the first thing you can do is talk to somebody who already has a relationship with Jesus, like a parent or another family member or your small group leader. You can ask them how they put their faith in Jesus. You can read the Bible, all about the men and women who put their trust in Jesus. When you see how other people put their faith in Jesus, it helps you do the same.
Sometimes things are out of my control. And sometimes I don't understand why the rolling thunder rolls. But when the rain falls from the sky, the grass turns green, the flowers bloom, and I stop asking why. Because I know with hope there's always a better tomorrow. It's hard to believe the best, but you can't win if you give up. Even if it doesn't work out like I planned, I'm choosing to believe, and I know it's hard to understand. We can't always see the plan, but we have a choice and this is mine. I'm choosing to believe. I'm choosing to believe. When hard things start to come my way, and when it's hard for me to see a brighter day, then I see a rainbow in the sky. I can feel the love around me. I feel like I can fly. Because I know with hope there's always